Hello, this is Lee Anthony Davis here, recording live from my YouTube channel. Yes, it's been a while since I last did my quiz. Tonight it's quiz time and it's science fiction quiz night. So I hope you're going to enjoy this as much as I am going to enjoy it as well. So anyway, let me just tell you what the feature is. Them, of course, remember that classic B movie? Yes, from the 1950s, fantastic film. Animatronics, I believe they used. It was the first time they used them to animate the sort of mechanics of the giant whatever. I'm not going to give it away yet. You probably know what it is anyway, what the creatures were. So them is not really a secret, is it? So anyway, so remember, I'll also be giving the answers to the questions when I read the questions out again. Before we start, it's that time again when I give out some shout outs to some of my members celebrating their birthdays. Well, sort of, it's not quite midnight, so these are for people that are having their birthdays tomorrow. A couple of my members, Ian McTeague and Michael Weir. Congratulations to you both, gentlemen. I hope you have a fantastic day tomorrow. So, I'd like to wish you, on behalf of myself and my groups that you're members of, a happy birthday. Right, I've got that out of the way. Let's move on to the most important things, the announcements. Uh, just to let you know about some of my groups I'll be launching. First off, a science fiction program close to my heart, Blake 7, a group I feel will do very well on Facebook, as there are a lot of Blake 7 fans out there, and I'm sure they will like this, which will have the content such as videos, images, clips, posts, comments, image galleries, and much more. And I'm also bringing out a Blake 7 page to go along with it on Facebook, like I do with the Hammer Horror page to go with the Hammer Horror group, the horror page to go with the horror group, the cult television page. I think I've got a sitcom page. I do apologise. I don't have a cult television page at all. I don't think I have. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. But I haven't brought out the Cult TV page, which the Cult TV group I'm going to bring out as well, which I'm going to announce. Yes, so there will be one. You got the gist, didn't you? I've got groups and pages to match both of them. So I'm coming up to close of 20 groups and 20 pages that will be up and running very shortly. At the moment, I think I've got about 12 to 14 up and running on Facebook. But these are the three new ones that I'm bringing out. Blake 7, the entertainment group. You'll love this. This has got everything on it. This is where I advertise and promote small time gamers, also the big time stuff, also what's going on in the world of entertainment. Plus, favourite stuff like Coronation Street, favourite cults with a lot of people. It's been going for years, since 1960, if I can recall that back. If I can recall that far back, yeah, 1960. It's lasted longest ever on television history, apart from Doctor Who, of course, that came out 3 years later in 1963. But anyway, enough of this drivel and trivia. Let's get on with it. So basically, I've got a Blake 7 group and a Blake 7 page. I'll launch the page first, and then it'll be the Blake 7 group. Would you believe it, though? I've got 5 members already joined, and I've not even launched the bloody thing. So anyway, yeah, so I'd like to say thank you to those 5 members that have joined. But when I really put my, shall I say, myself into it, I'd say that it could be a big one. I think it'll easily make 100 members, and I'm hoping to put tons and tons of content on there only to do with Blake 7. So it would be great if you would like to join as well. So look out for an invite, and I will welcome you with open arms along with me members. And you're not just being welcomed, you're seeing some great content there for you to enjoy as well. Videos, I've got the introductions to the characters, and well, you've got the idea. If you've been on these groups before, you know what they do. So mine, I like to sort of make a little bit more special, and also give birthday shout outs as well in the group, and do live broadcasts on Facebook from my group, to welcome them and tell them what's going on and what groups I'm linking up with. I've also like to say I'm going to be going live this Friday, believe it or not, with let's see, his name is Sadeko, I think it is, and his mate, who's just become a member of my group. So that's fantastic. David, I've tried David something. I know it sounds bloody crazy. I don't even know his surname. That just shows you how daft it is. Yeah, David. His name's David. I'm trying to remember his name. It's so annoying when you forget surnames. That is the problem with me. I'm a complete thick bastard when it comes to surnames. But when I see them, I do apologise to that person. But it's his show, and he's invited me on it this Friday. So I'll give you more details on that, and I do apologise to him, and I'll let you know what his name is. If not, could you please send your posts and complaints to YouTube, my channel, and tell me what a wally I am. I don't even know my own members. Sorry about that. I will let you know who it is. Yeah, David Rosenthal. That's it. Sorry, I do apologise. I got there in the end. David Rosenthal is doing his live stream and he's invited me on. And I think it's going to be about the theme's going to be about the master. So that's something to look forward to. Like I said, more details to follow. So that'll be David Rosenthal with his mate Sadeko, and of course me. So anyway, enough said about that. Also, there's something I like to talk about quickly before we move on uh, about my horror group. Now, my horror group I only set up about 6 weeks ago. It's now fast approaching 400 members. Three of my groups, plus this one, has reached over 300 members in the let's see, the official Doctor Who group and the science fiction group, which is really moving up. If it was a horse, it'll be moving up on the rails, and it will just catch the one in front at the line. Yeah, it's one of those groups where it slowly but surely gains momentum. So a fantastic group it's turned out to be, and it's one that I'm proud of because I started from scratch with that, and it's really taken off. I had no idea how many people love science fiction. So there you have it. So we got some. I've got some good groups on there. My pages are doing pretty well as well. Some of them have reached over 300. Some of them are not done too well, I'm afraid. But never mind. I haven't had much time on them considering I'm spreading myself thin all over the place with what with Twitch and going on Podbeam and doing the other stuff. It's very hard, and then plus doing these quizzes, and then making sure everybody's happy on my group. And if there's a couple of arguments going on, I have to go in there and do some arbitration. You know how it is. Keep everybody happy, because if you upset somebody, you can't always please everybody. I know that. And like I said, I'm not bothered to lose about 50 people if they were dead against what I believe in, which is being fair to everybody, respecting other people's views. I don't care about numbers, I care about members. Even if I had about one good member and 499 bad ones, I'd get rid of the 499 bad ones and keep the good member, because the good member will always stay with your group, where the others might bugger off. Uh, whatever reason, whether they're secret spies or whatever, they're there to destabilise you. I don't know, right? So, I mean, that's a conspiracy theory on its own, isn't it, really? But anyway, fantastic. I'd like to thank every one of those members for joining my group, and I appreciate it very much. So, anyway, enough said about that. Right, we're getting close to quiz time. Uh, where am I? Oh, yeah. Right, remember, yes, we're moving on to the quiz now. I've done all my hellos, goodbyes, I've done all my thank yous, I've done all my birthdays, welcoming. In the background, I think you can hear a bloody bike. Doesn't matter, it's not going to spoil my fun of doing this quiz. And basically, we can now move on because we're here for the quiz. The science fiction quiz featuring them. So, shall we get on with it? So, anyway, let me just inform you how it's going to work. I'll give you 20 questions, right? And then I'll read out the 20 questions and with the answers. So when I read the questions out again, I give the answers. Also, have yourself a pen and paper, because we do it for a bit of fun. where you can just mark off, give yourself a point for everyone you get right, and mark off minus for everyone you get wrong. So there you go. But remember now, you know what's coming? Yes, I'm afraid so. I'm going to sing. It's the musical interlude. Always include these in the quizzes, by the way. And I've given you a break for quite a bit, so I'm back with a vengeance. Here we go. So a chance to get out the room quick and find that pen and paper, as I'm going to sing. Yes, here we go. Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in a sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Say nighty night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you miss me. While I'm alone and blue as can be, dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear, still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear, just saying this. All together now. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. Yeah. Yeah. Okay then. I thought I'd stretch that out. I think I got too much out of that note, and unfortunately, I nearly stretched my bleeding voice to breaking point. But I always do that for a bit of fun because I know you appreciate them for what they are, just a joke. But basically, I play for time, as you know. So anyway, so don't sort of be offended by my singing. It's just a way of getting you to get that pen and paper and move your backsides out of that room fast. Well, you can come back in now. It's over the nightmare, as they say. So we are now fast approaching the quiz. Right. Yes, it's that time again. It's that quiz of the week, the science fiction quiz featuring them. Are you ready? Let's play. It's question one. Are you ready? Right. Here we go. A nice easy one to start. When was the film released? I repeat, when was the film released? Was it A, 1953? Was it B, 1954? Or was it C, 1955? Question 2. What were them? What were these creatures? Were they A, giant scorpions? Were they B, giant ants? Or were they C, giant bees? Question 3. What made them become giants in the first place? Was it A, through evolution? Was it B, radiation? Or was it C, through toxic waste? Question 4. Now remember, I like to throw in two-part questions, and this is no exception. So here's the first part to question 4. What were the creatures attracted to? What did they use? What was they used to love some? They're very attracted to food. There's a certain item that they go for. Uh, what kind of food attracts ants? You know, because they've got a great sense of smell, but they're very got poor bad sight. They don't see too well in the light or the dark, so they rely on their antennae to find their whatever their prey or whatever, and their mangonels, those things that stick out. They grab their prey tearing to bits with it, in fact. So imagine coming across one of those things. Not me. So what is it? So I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop wittering on here. Is it A, honey? Is that their favourite? Is it B, sugar? Or is it C, meat? Are they meat eaters? Well, the size of them, I would suggest they were, but I'll leave you to make that guess when we come back. Excuse me for a sec as I take a lovely sip of cappuccino. Lovely, even though it is bloody cold. Never mind, that's me talking. I must have talked it to death. Never mind, right, let's get on to question 4B. What did the creatures use to paralyse their victims? Was it A, their pincers? Was it B, formic acid? Or was it C, hypnotism by the eyes, like a snake does? Right, moving on to question 5. When the search party came across one of these creatures, what did the doctor refer to it as? Was it A, a scrounger? Was it B, a scout? Or was it C, a soldier? Excuse me. A bit of, I've been eating too much today, so obviously a big build up of gas. But don't worry, you won't hear it because I'll blow up. Spontaneous combustion, they call it. Question 6. When one of the party was attacked by the creature, the how did he disable it before they overcame it? I repeat, question 6. When one of the party was attacked by the creature, how did they disable it before they overcame it? Was it A, they actually shot at its eyes? Was it B, they shot at its antennae? Or was it C, they shot at its legs? Question 7. Where was the drop back for the setting of the film? I repeat, where was the drop back for the setting of the film? Was it A, Las Vegas? Was it B, Colorado? Or was it C, New Mexico? Question 8. Which three actors appeared in this film? I repeat, question 8. Which three actors appeared in this film? Was it A, Lee Van Cleef, James Arness and Edmund Gwenn? Was it B, James Arness, James Whitmore or Edmund Gwenn? Or was it C, James Arness, Gene Barry and James Whitmore? Right, moving on to question 9. Who played the character in the film? I'll emphasise that question again. Who played the character in the film, the Special Agent Robert Graham? I hope that was more understandable. I tend to get things upside down or complete up my you know what. So I'll say that again. Who played the character in the film who played Special Agent Robert Graham? Was it A, James Whitmore? Was it B, James Arness? Or was it C, Edmund Gwenn? Right, question 10. What was the relationship between the two myrmecologists? Let me say that again. Myrmecologists. That means Dr. Harold and Dr. Pat. I'm having trouble saying this. I'll just give me a second. I'll just see if I can pronounce it right. That's it, myrmecologist. Sorry, I do apologise. I'm going to repeat that question again. I've got it completely wrong, but I managed to pronounce it right this time, so I'll say it again. Question 10. What was the relationship between the two myrmecologists, Dr. Harold and Dr. Pat? Was it A, they were husband and wife? Was it B, they were just colleagues? Or was it C, they were father and daughter? Don't worry, I'll explain what a myrmecologist or myrmecologist is when we return back to the questions. Right, question 11. When the party led by Dr. Harold Medford located the nest where these creatures were, what method did they use to destroy that nest? Was it A, flamethrowers? Was it B, cyanide gas bombs? Or was it C, they used an atomic bomb? Well, I hope they got well clear of it, otherwise they would go up with the creatures, wouldn't they? Question 12. How many of the party went down to investigate inside the nest after the attack? That's when the scout came after them, and they basically had to shoot it. You probably know the film. They shot it, and then suddenly, when they found the nest, these two giant creatures came out of this hole what they were looking for, and unfortunately, they had to go down to find out if the whatever they did to, to destroy it had worked. But I can't tell you any more than that until we come round to the questions again. So anyway, so I'll say that again. How many of the party went down to the creature's nest to investigate inside what was to see if there's any alive after the attack had happened? Was it A, 2? Was it B, 3? Or was it C, 4? Right, we're moving on to question 13. Who played Dr. Pat Medford in the film? Was it A, Anne Francis? Was it B, Anne Robinson? Or was it C, Joan Weldon? Question 14. What did the civilian pilot say he saw in the sky that forced him down for an emergency landing? I'll repeat that question again. What did the civilian pilot say he saw in the sky that forced him down for an emergency landing? Was it A fireball in the sky? Was it B, UFOs? Or was it C, objects resembling giant ants? Question 15. What Latin name did Dr. Pat Meldon refer to the creatures as? Was it A, Scroperlutus acius? Was it B, Campernotus vercinus Maya? Or was it C, Spartan Ninus Capita? I will have to repeat that one again when I come round, and they're the Latin words. Well, one of them's Latin, said in Latin. The other two I made up. You can guess which ones. I'm sure you can. Right, question 16. When two of the creatures escaped from the bombardment, where did they relocate? In other words, they escaped before their lair, their nest, was blown up. They got out just in time. So I'll repeat that question again so you understand it now. When two of the creatures escaped from the bombardment, where did they relocate? Was it A, Los Angeles sewer system? Was it B, San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge? Or was it C, New York in the heart of the Big Apple? Right, moving on. That is question 16. Question 17 now. Here we go. Which of these three men located the new nest of the creatures? Which of these three men located the new nest of the creatures? Was it A, Agent Robert Grams? Was it B, Dr. Harold Weldon? Or was it C, Sergeant Ben Peterson? Question 18. Who risked his life to save the two small boys when trapped by two of the creatures? Was it A, Agent Robert Grams? Was it B, Dr. Harold Weldon? Or was it C, Sergeant Ben Peterson? Question 19. Two more to go before we're halfway there. How far did the police cop say the tunnels go under the city? I'll repeat that again. This is just a sort of bit part for this actor who's playing the cop. Remember that. So he just says that I think this is the only thing he says in the whole film, but he does mention, he does say when they actually stumbled onto it, he gets to say something. He's just one of the policemen in the background, but he gets a bit of dialogue, if you know what I mean. And this is what did he actually say? So I'll repeat that again. Question 19. How far did the police cop say that the tunnels go under the city? Was it A, 500 miles? Was it B, 700 miles? Or was it C, 900 miles? Question 20, and this will take us to halfway. What means were used to wipe out the last of the creatures? Was it A, cyanide bombs? Was it B, flamethrowers? Or was it C, explosives? Right, we have now reached that moment where we are halfway. And how are you doing so far? Are you doing pretty well? Or are you doing pretty bad like me at reading these bloody questions? Never mind. So we're going to go into the final half of this. Before we do start, let me just have a quick drag on this. I hope you're still staying with me for this complete catastrophe of a quiz. As you can see, it's been a long time since I last done it, so you'll have to forgive me for my stupidity. But anyway, I've had a glass of milk. I'm not having that coffee. It's too bloody cold. Well, there again, some people like cold beans from tins, don't they? So not everything is perfect in the world of reality. So anyway, like me, I mean, I'm in reality, but I'm not bloody perfect. So anyway, so shall we begin before I talk myself into a complete bizarre and nonsensical sort of situation that you could only find yourself in a nightmare. So here we go. Question one. You ready? Question one. Remember, the answers are going to be given out. So after I've done this, right? Question one. A nice, as I said, it was a nice, easy one to start off with. When was the film released? Was it A, 1953? Was it B, 1954? Or was it C, 1955? The answer is B, 1954. Right, question two. What were these creatures called? What were these creatures? I put the question as, what were them? But what were they actually? What were they? I think you understand now. Were they A, giant scorpions? Were they B, giant ants? Or were they C, giant bees? The answer is they were giant ants. Apparently, they grew to that enormous size due to the atomic bomb explosion in the Mexico desert. You know, the Manhattan Project and all that. So anyway, I'm going to get along quicker here because I'm running out of power on my phone now, and I don't want to sort of be cut off in mid-sentence, as you say. Right, question three. What made them become giants? Was it A, through evolution? Was it B, radiation? Or was it C, through toxic waste? Well, the answer was obvious, so I've just given it away, haven't I? B, radiation. Question four. Remember, this was a two-part question. Uh, this is question 4A. What were the creatures attracted to? What, in other words, what did they usually home in on that was more essential to them for energy and stuff? Was it A, honey? Was it B, sugar? Or was it C, meat? The answer is sugar. They were attracted to sugar. They basically used it for energy because, believe it or not, they can live 10 times more than their own body weight, or I believe it's even more than that. They're very strong creatures, and to think little tiny ants like that could do all that, you know, you've seen that they're brilliant engineers. As you can see, they build tunnels it's true this, but there was a big fight between two of them, and it lasted for 72 hours. How do I know about this? Well, I saw the bloody film, so that's how I know my information. Anyway, don't worry about it. That was question A. Now we're moving on to question B, the second part. Remember, give yourself 2 points for each of the two parters, so that's 4 points you're looking at. So here we go, the second part. What did the creatures use to paralyse their victims? In other words, what did they sort of pump into their victims to kill them? Was it A, their pincers? Was it B, formic acid? Or was it C, hypnotism by the eyes before they... No, it was... the answer is B. They grabbed them by the pincers and then they sort of jabbed them with this stinger with formic acid. So there's enough, when they found the dead body at the beginning, one of the policemen remarked that there's enough formic acid in that person to have killed 10 men. So there you have it. Right, moving on to question question 5. When the search party came across one of these creatures, what did the doctor refer to it as? Was it A, a scrounger? Was it B, a scout? Or was it C, a soldier? Well, the answer is it was a scout, because they send scouts out for food to forage and stuff, and to see if the coast is clear. Like everything else, it's like like in human society, we have the same structure where we have policemen watching our safety and security, the army protecting us around the world from attack on our own country. We have leaders and stuff like that. It's all the same structure with ants, would you believe it or not? But except obviously they don't talk. They use signals through their antennae to communicate with each other. Anyway, never mind all that. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Question 6. So the answer to question 5 was scout. Question 6. When one of the party was attacked by the creature, how did they disable it before they overcame it? In other words, they killed it. Was it A, they shot at its eyes? Was it B, they shot at its antennae? Or was it C, they shot at its legs? Well, as I said earlier, if you caught me what I was saying, they've got bad eyesight, so they don't rely on their eyes, they rely on their antennae. So obviously the answer is B, they shot at their antennae. You take both them antennae out, they're helpless. So that's what they use to guide themselves, to home in, like sharks home in on signals, distress and stuff like that. Their antennae are very acute at picking up signals, vibrations, you could say. So anyway, that's what the antennae are for. Those two things are those sort of wavy little, sort of hairy things, little things. I think you know what I mean. Their antennae, they sort of hunt and search with them in the dark because their eyes they've got very poor eyesight. It's true that, even though it's irrelevant information. Never mind. So the answer was, as I said, it's their antennae is the most important part of them. So they shot their antennae, so they disabled the ant there and then it was easy to kill it with machine gun fire. I thought that was a bit unsporting myself, but never mind. Question 7. Where was the drop back for the setting of the film? Where was the drop back for the setting of the film? Was it A, Las Vegas? Was it B, Colorado? Or was it C, New Mexico? The answer is C, New Mexico. It was in the desert, by the way, so you knew that. Question 8. Which three actors appeared in this film? Was it A, Lee Van Cleef, James Arness, Edmund Gwenn? Was it B, James Arness, James Whitmore, and Edmund Gwenn? Or was it C, James Arness, Gene Barry, James Whitmore? The answer is B, James Arness, James Whitmore, and Edmund Gwenn. Right, moving on. As I move on this paper over. Question 9, I believe. Yep, it is question 9. Just check that, just to be sure. Yes, it is question 9. Who played the character in the films? Who played Special Agent Robert Graham in the film? Who played the character Special Agent Robert Graham in the film? Was it A, James Whitmore? Was it B, James Arness? Or was it C, Edmund Gwenn? The answer is James Arness. Right, question 10. What was the relationship between the two myrmecologists, Dr. Harold and Dr. Pat? Was it A, husband and wife? Was it B, they were just colleagues? Or were they C, father and daughter? The answer is they were father and daughter. Now, remember what I said earlier? I said I'll let you know what myrmecologists are. Well, they're actually experts in the study of ants and is a branch from entomology, which is a study of insects. So I hope that's helped in a way. So it's basically I keep saying it wrong, don't I? Myrmecologists are actually experts in the study of ants, and it's another branch from entomology, as you know, is a study of insects. So anyway, moving on. Question 11. When the party led by Dr. Harold Medford located the nest where these creatures were, or shall I say where these giant ants were, what method did they use to destroy the nest? Was it A, flamethrowers? Was it B, cyanide gas bombs? Or was it C, atom bomb? Well, I would say it certainly wasn't the atom bomb, otherwise it would have took a lot of them up with it. So it's got to be B, isn't it? Cyanide gas bombs. They threw the cyanide gas bombs and it should have perpetrated the whole, shall I say, it should have perpetrated the whole nest from all the tunnels. But sadly, one of them was still alive because it had been sealed off through one of the tunnels collapsing, so it was still there, but it came out. But they managed to flamethrower. They used a flamethrower on it, so they burnt it to death. So they were safe, but they had to check the eggs to see if they'd hatched. Unfortunately, they did, and those eggs were the queen eggs. So they had wings. You know that they like we do, mate. We have marriage ceremony. They do the same thing with the wings. Keeps the fly with the two males flying around them as they fly in the air. But with being giant, colossal creatures as they were in this film, that they look like UFOs But I shouldn't have said that because that's another question I'm going to be covering in a second. So I think I've given the game away. So anyway, they have a match. They're matrimonial. Should I say? They have it. I think they. I don't know the habits of ants, but I'm sure they have relations in the sky with the queen because she has wings. I think you're getting the gist. I don't want to go on any more about this bollocks because it is bollocks. You're here to hear. You're here to listen to the quiz. So I'm going to get a move on. Anyway, that's entomology on myrmecology. I should have done a bit of research on it. Never mind. Sorry about that. So basically, matrimonial mating they do in. I think it's in the air, and then they lay the eggs obviously in the ground or wherever the new nest is, and basically that's it really. And then they hatch more queens, and the whole process starts again. But there's a quick rundown on myrmecology, however you pronounce it, never mind. So the answer to the actual question I said before, if you forgot it, I mean, I've gone into the realms of fantasy here. The answer was cyanide gas bombs. Right, moving on to question 12. I'm going to move a bit quicker here now. How many of the party went down to investigate inside the nest after the attack? Was it A, 2, was it B, 3, or was it C, 4? The answer is B. It was 3. Dr. Pat Medford, Sergeant Ben Patterson, and Special Agent Ellison. Right, so you got that one. Right, we're moving on to question 13. Unlucky for some. It has been for me so far. Who played Dr. Pat Medford in the film? Was it A, Anne Francis? Was it B, Anne Robinson? Or was it C, John Weldon? The answer is C, John Weldon. Question 14. What did the civilian pilot say he saw in the sky that forced him down for an emergency landing? Was it A, fireballs in the sky? Was it B, UFOs? Or did he say C, objects that resembled giant ants? The answer is C, objects resembling giant ants. Question 15. What Latin name did Dr. Pat Weldon refer to the creatures as? Remember what I said about this? Two of them are phony because I made them up, and one of them's actually genuine. So here we go. Is it A, Scrupa lutus Asius? Was it B, Camper Notus Vercinus Maya? Or was it C, Spartan Ninus Capita? Uh, the answer is B, Camper Notus Vercinus Maya is the answer. The other two are a load of bollocks because I made them up. Right, question 16. When two of the creatures escaped from the bombardment, where did they relocate? Was it A, Los Angeles sewer system? Was it B, San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge? Or was it C, New York in the heart of the Big Apple? The answer is the Los Angeles sewer system. Right, we're moving into the final four questions. Question 17. Which of these three men located the new nest of the creatures? Was it A, Agent Robert Grams? Was it B, Dr. Harold Weldon? Or was it C, Sergeant Ben Peterson? The answer was C, Sergeant Ben Peterson. Question 18. Who risked his life to save the two small boys when they were trapped by two giant ants? Was it A, Agent Robert Grams? Was it B, Dr. Harold Weldon? Or was it C, Sergeant Ben Peterson? Sadly, it was Sergeant Ben Peterson. He was killed by them as he got the second boy up to the little sort of tunnel, but he tried to make a jump for it, and unfortunately the pincers got him, and then you guess what? He had, I don't know how much was pumped into him of formic acid, but that that is it really. That's game over. So he managed to stay alive just to do his bit of dialogue, and before he does the dying swan act. But anyway, that was the answer was Sergeant Ben Peterson. Right, we're moving to the last two questions. Question 19. How far did the police cops say the tunnels go under the city? Was it A, 500 miles? Was it B, 700 miles? Or was it C, 900 miles? The answer is B, 700 miles. And we're coming to the final question. Question 20. What means were used to wipe out the last of the creatures? Was it A, cyanide bombs? Was it B, flamethrowers? Or was it C, explosives? The answer is B, flamethrowers. They bombarded them with fire, and as you know, they were the last of the surviving queen, last two queens, because when they mate, they lose their wings, so they can't fly anymore, and then they just lay eggs. Unfortunately, they found the nest and found the ants, and they all died. So the catastrophe for mankind did not happen. That's the film for you. It's always a happy ending, isn't it? Not for the ants, though. So anyway, I'm afraid that is it. I hope you've enjoyed my sort of failed attempt at doing a quiz. I've enjoyed doing it because it's been a long time since my last one, but I hope you'll return to join me for another one where the next quiz I'll be doing will be the Hammer Horror quiz. But I'll give you details on that at another time. So, anyway, I'm just going to bid you a fond farewell tonight. I'm glad you joined me. I really appreciate it. It's been a bit of fun for both of us, you listening to me and me telling you or giving you a bad projection of these questions and answers. But I hope you enjoyed it. It's been a long time since I've done one. I hope to see you again on the YouTube channel, recording live with the Hammer Horror Quiz. I will let you know on Facebook. So anyway, just to remind you, later on tonight I'll be doing the audio show on Podbean featuring episode 3 of The Faceless Ones. So anyway, that just leaves me to say thank you for watching, or shall I say for listening, and I hope you stay safe, and the old saying is, don't let the bed bugs bite, and I'll see you probably, never know, tomorrow night. Have a nice night. Bye for now.